Hello everyone. To all those who watched last week's 60 Minutes, you know that CBS 7 o'clock Western time, the interview of Federal Bureau of Investigation Director Christopher Wray. I'll tell you, I was totally shocked with what he said. And what shocked me the most is his department, his bureau's goal is to prevent terrorism, domestic or international. That's shocking. Not for you, but it is for me, personally and professionally. And also when I learned that Mexico would like to, is file a lawsuit against firearms manufacturers in the United States or elsewhere, those are two very important issues that I will share with you, and why I will tell you it is shocking to me. So the title of this presentation is How Gun Control is Destroying America and the Rest of the World. This is part 1 of 2. Part 1 is where I present to you the problem. Part 2 is the solution. So it goes hand in hand. Just like what I said, this is CBS News 60 Minutes Overtime, dated April 24, on rising gun violence in the U.S. and domestic terrorism. The goal of the FBI is to prevent terrorist attack of any kind, domestic or international. Immediately on the 25th, the next day, I sent him a 2-page letter with my proposal, because I was telling him his goal, this goal to prevent terrorist attack of any kind, domestic or international, is impossible to achieve. Impossible. Also, the lawsuits against firearms manufacturers is wrong. And these are the reasons why I'm going to give you. It will not protect human lives from gun violence, from mass shootings, or terrorism, or extremism, or insurgency. Anywhere in the world, the failure of the government to prevent any type of violent crimes, including gun violence, mass shootings, insurgency, or terrorism, or extremism, is not the responsibility of firearms manufacturers. And I'll tell you the analysis and the proper solution. Let's take a look at the cause of terrorism. September 11, 2001 is the best example that I can provide you. Why is it that September 11, 2001 terror in New York was not prevented by FBI or any law enforcement in the United States? Why not? And how many lives were lost? And approximately 2 trillion negative effect to the economy of the United States alone. Approximately 1 trillion for Guantanamo Bay prison. How many lives of our military men and women and civilians were lost in Afghanistan? How many? How many of our military men and women were disabled, came back disabled, and now are homeless and unemployed? And approximately 1 trillion is needed to take care of our veterans. Approximately $2 to $8 trillion was spent by the United States alone to sustain that war in Afghanistan for almost around 20 years. About 7 billion war and equipment were left in Afghanistan Why America and allies were defeated in Afghanistan after 20 years of military and civilian efforts. Why? And here's what I'm going to tell you about war in Afghanistan. Even if we go back there now, America will never win against the Taliban, never defeat the Taliban. Cannot. It's impossible. Like Philippines, where I came from, is the government going to win the war against terrorism, extremism, rebellions, rebels? No, it's impossible. They cannot win. And because my studies originated from the Philippines, U.S. gun violence alone in the United States is about $280 billion annually. That's the cost to our society. And about 40,000 deaths from gun violence. 40,000 lives are lost annually. And political leaders' solutions is what? Gun control. The question I ask you, is gun control good or bad for America? What do you think? Is gun control good or bad for America? I'd like you to think. A few seconds at least. Give yourself a chance that you know something about this and how to solve it. Gun control is destructive for America, no doubt, and the rest of the world, and how it affects the rest of the world is what I'm trying to tell you. Look at the fatal police fatalities in the United States alone. I gave you just a few years. How many police officers took their own lives? Is the FBI able to understand and solve this? No, they're not. The FBI is not capable of doing this. I'm not trying to disrespect the FBI. I have high respect for the FBI. But you have to understand that the FBI, as the name implies, Federal Bureau of Investigation, they are very good at investigating crimes and solving crimes. Very good. One of the best in the world. But they cannot and they have no ability to prevent crimes or terrorism of any kind. Nothing. And I will explain all that to you. Is America searching for solutions? Yes, of course. The other year, Congress provided $25 million to this National Institute of Health and CDC to study gun safety. $25 million. Imagine that amount of money. And unfortunately, here's what I'm going to tell you. No government or any other private or non-profit organization will ever find a solution to gun violence. And I put my name right here. Other researching parties, UC Davis, University of California, Davis, National Collaborative, etc., non-profit organizations, all these are looking for ways to prevent gun violence. And fortunately, James Brady organization, they have changed their names a few times. And I believe, let me tell you first who is James Brady. For those who may not know, James Brady worked for former President Reagan as secretary. And when there was an attempt on the life of President Reagan, actually it was James Brady who was hurt and became disabled because of the shot. And he left the White House and he started his nonprofit organization on finding ways to prevent crimes, gun violence. And I believe he started his organization in 1974. And I'm giving you up to 2020 because I look at their website and I saw the amount of money that they were able to generate just in 2020 alone. $42,607,000. But mind you, they have existed for 46 years. And in 1 year alone, that's 42 million. So what has happened to that money? Where are the results of how to prevent gun violence? Where? 46 years. And violence, gun violence, actually, the last few years has been growing instead of being resolved by James Brady organization. Nothing. Also, my prevention system includes the problem of the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They report this every year. I only gave you this because this is all I can find. But look at this, 2010. It's in red color, and I will explain that to you. So the chance to succeed, I'm giving them rating of 0 to 10. All this research. NIH, 0 or 100% failure rating. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 0 or 100% failure rating. Any educational institutions or non-profit organization, same thing, 0 or 100% failure rating. Why? I'll tell you what's the difference between me and all this multi-million-dollar research and endless time that seems forever. What I did in November 1963. Let me check my, I think I'm okay. I'm checking my camera. When America announced that they lost President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, Texas, I was still in elementary school in the Philippines. And some of my classmates cried, about 3 or 4 of them. And I was like surprised and curious. Right there and then, I wanted to know, who is Kennedy? Where is America? So I started studying and learning everything I can about America, their government, their people, their culture. And of course, we have not like today, we can Google it. There's no such thing when I was in the elementary school. We don't even have newspaper at home. We have no books at home. So I have to scrounge, find what I can find out. It would take me 2 months short of 20 years before I was able to come here in the United States. By the time I already have done a lot of many years of research about not only America, but Philippine government, everything I can learn. So I immigrated in the US in 1983. It would take me up to April 4, 2004, from 83, 2004, to develop the world's first violence prevention system. Develop it. So overall, it took me 41 years of research. I traveled to many other countries. I compared other countries. Every country I compared. That's what I did. So basically, here's the big deal. All these researchers are here in the United States. They don't know anything about other countries. I know, because that's what I did. I compared everyone. So April 4, 2004. 2016. Between 2004 to 2016, I was able to put together all the data that I need. And in 2016, I wrote this and published this on Amazon. I found the problem, I found the solution. I discovered the root cause of everything. And so this book and every books that I wrote and published and every program's solutions I have developed are described in my website, Global Solutions. The book, if you look at the back of the book, this is what you will find. All this. That's why my book alone is provided with that guarantee that no one can develop this. These are my guarantees. I'd like you to take a few moments and read it. Also included in my prevention program or system is to reduce traffic congestion. This is 871 billion in 2010. 3.9 millions were injured, 87 billion loss in productivity, 305 billion traffic congestion, 24 million vehicles were damaged, 32,299 lives. Those are all 2010. And every year, just what I showed you in the prior pages, it goes up every year. So by 2020, I will estimate this at $1.3 trillion. No one else can solve this. The way to solve this is look at transportation alone. When the government is looking at gasoline or oil, I'm not looking at oil or fossil fuel. They say fossil fuel is bad. No, government is bad. They don't know what they're doing. Transportation, what's the biggest problem in transportation? Carbon dioxide, 65% global. Here is the answer. Global Traffic Decongestion Program. It is part of the My Prevention program. And I put here examples of the United States, Canada, Los Angeles, California, Australia, Germany, United Kingdom, and so on. Also included is to be able to fix this trust fund of the Social Security which is expected to be depleted by 2034 or 2035. When that happens, all those who are receiving benefits now or those who will be receiving by that year, the amount of benefits will be reduced by a minimum at least 21%. So poverty is definitely coming, and it's going to affect retirees too. And get this, there will be no, this is to extend Social Security and Medicare benefits permanently. Provide appropriate annual cost of living adjustment commensurate to actual cost of living. Eliminate the need to raise the retirement age. And most importantly, you do not have to raise federal payroll taxes, nothing. Vision Zero is also part of my traffic decongestion program. Sweden is the best, and this originated in Sweden. It has the best success rating of 45% plus. New York, 2017, copied this Vision Zero. From 222, they were able to bring it down to 200. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they spent $160 million, really? And they saved 22 lives. Are you amazed with that? Los Angeles copied the same thing, 2015. I don't know how much, it's not 100 million, I think less. But instead of saving even for one life, actually, fatal crashes went up by 36%. Are they heading in the wrong way? Yes, 100%. Los Angeles, again, raised taxes to fix homelessness. What happened to the homelessness? It boomed. It raised. It's a crisis now. These politicians think that, oh, let's raise taxes and fix it. No, no, it doesn't work that way. Prevention is the only way to reverse all this without using taxpayers' money. Without using taxpayers' money. The more money a government takes from you is less money for you to spend for your family, and the government is wasting all of it and making the problem worse. Can we solve climate change? No. Look at this. Paris Climate Accord, signed by 195 people on December 2015. It will fail to this date. What do we have? Worsening. Everything is worsening. The wildfire is growing. We have drought is going really bad. The UN Climate Change COP26, people went there to Scotland and do what? Talk about what? Nonsense. They wanted to fix climate change by 2030 or 2050. It is easy for them to say that because many of them will not be here to stand up and say, oh, we're wrong. You, all of us will suffer. There's going to be another COP26 this coming November 2022. Another waste of money. People will ride airplanes, separately to go there and then talk what? Nonsense. Can we reduce global gas emissions now without eliminating fuel, fossil fuel? Of course. Traffic decongestion is the only answer, and it's available now. Not in 2030, not in 2050. So I'm inviting to partner with me, my company. Let's work together in introducing this one and only existing gun violence prevention program in the world. Let us eliminate this unnecessary lawsuit against your company. I'm also extending my invitation to all law enforcement, including FBI, Department of Homeland Security, to become part of this violence prevention program. Same invitation to all those who wanted to solve climate change now, not in 2030, not in or 2050. Stop fooling yourselves with believing all these people are saying. And for now, this is end of part 1. And I hope you will watch part 2. I also hope that you will subscribe to my channel of Global Solutions, and because this is for you. Not unless you wanted to keep on paying more taxes to fix homelessness, to fix all these problems that are not going anywhere else. Thank you very much. I'll see you again soon.